Okay, no, no, we're good. Don't touch. Hi, good evening. I'm Calli Block, and it's Thursday, May 7th, 2020. It's the full moon for this month. I hope you enjoy it. I like doing the full moon salute. I call it full moon magic. Basically, what we're going to be doing is moving side to side, and our bodies will mirror the different phases of the moon, from full moon to half moon to gate to new moon, and then we pull up through the same poses coming out the other way. Now, even though this is a flow, it's not like sun salutations, with every breath you take, you make a movement, you get to the poses and stuff like that. It's a lot of front and back and almost aerobic, and I don't have the breath for that. The full moon magic, even though it is a vinyasa, a flow, we hold the poses. We find our comfort in those poses. We are doing it more meditatively instead of quickly. So the full moon magic is yin, and the sun salutations is yang, and that the feminine is yin, the masculine is yang. The feminine is dark and slow moving and full and everything, and whereas yang, it's hard, it's bright, it's sharp movements, it's quick movements. So I like this. I don't know how I came up with this, but I had done moon things with other people, and then I sat there and said, oh, this is good. Here I can visualize, and you should be able to visualize too through your bodies when we're doing the different phases of the moon. And so I hope you like it. Welcome. All classes at Blissful Life Corporation are donation-based, so the magic of yoga can be available to all. If you want to donate, and we do appreciate if you do, you can go to paypal.me/donatebliss, BLISS. Also, please let them know what class or teacher that you're paying for, so the teacher can be paid appropriately. I do yoga because I love it, and I love to share it with people. So the first thing we're going to do is just to sit comfortably. You can have cross-legged, you can have your legs out straight, you can have one leg straight, the other one crossed, whatever it is. You want to sit up on your sit bones and slip slightly forward from the hips. And that gives you like a bandha, a lock, and so your body is naturally going into its true form. It's balanced, it's open, it's the way it is. A little secret I have after years is I have a little pillow here, like a beanbag, and I sit my sit bones right there, right on the front part of it. I also use, when I have my traveling bag, I use just a rolled up hand towel. And it's really not under anything except for barely under the sit bones. And so my spine is long, my shoulder blades roll down your back. That's my friend here. And find the balance between front and back and side to side. And once you find that spot, just allow your body to rest in this pose. This is a yoga pose. Begin to focus your awareness on your breath. Not changing it, just checking in. How is my breath? How full is my inhalation? How deep is my exhalation? Does your breath go all the way into your belly and squeezing the end of it out through your belly? We do belly breathing because that works the diaphragm. When we inhale and press out the belly button, the diaphragm drops, and you can feel the air lifting all the way up to your collarbones and up the back of your neck. When we exhale, relax the collar, the chest, the rib cage, and pull the abdominal muscles in so the diaphragm goes up and pushes the stale air out. Yoga is breath. If you cannot breathe fully and deeply into poses, do step out of them. You don't have to go into the fullest extension. You have to go where you are comfortable and safe and able to breathe. Because then you can feel the effects of the poses on your body, the opening, the stretching. I like yoga. And if you're familiar with Ujjayi breathing, that's breathing, constricting the very pit of your throat and breathing in and breathing out. And it's sort of like a whisper breath. It's Ujjayi, ocean sounding breath. And what I like about Ujjayi, and I use it a lot throughout my days and my weeks and my months and my years, sometimes this feels like forever, but it enables you, in fact, you almost have to take a deeper breath when you're going through that little bit of constriction, which is also your throat chakra area. Just notice your breath. A deep inhalation, lengthen the body. Exhale, you're going to bend your neck forward, bring your chin towards your chest. Totally relax your shoulders. Feel it stopping in its natural place. The back of your neck is open. Inhale, visualize the air coming in from the tailbone, lengthening vertebra by vertebra through the spine, and then from the bottom of your neck, straight up to behind the ears. And then is when you lift your chin, opening the front of the throat. Exhale, the head comes through center, and you round it down. Notice how far down you may be feeling it in your back. And inhale from the tailbone, lengthening the spine, opening the chest, getting to the back of the neck. Straight up vertebra on the top of vertebra, and then lift the chin. Notice how far down your chest you may be feeling this stretch. Exhale, your chin comes through center and rounds down. Inhale, lengthening, opening, lifting when you get behind your neck. Inhale, stretching the entire front of the body. Exhale, naturally after the pause, head goes through center and then round the neck down. Constricting. Inhale, lengthening. And coming back to neutral. Notice your shoulders. Notice your balance. See, if I'm sitting slightly forward, automatically, I don't have to use muscles to hold me up. But when you're sitting on your tailbone, your thighs are involved, your torso's involved, you're constricted here. So sitting slightly forward. Take a breath in, exhale, turn, and look over your right shoulder. Smooth movements. Let the eyes go all the way to the right. Inhale, center, exhale, over to the left side. Inhale, center, exhale, right. Inhale, center, exhale, left. Inhale, center, exhale, right. Feel the turn. Inhale, center, exhale, left. Now inhale, center, As we look over to the right, the left hand comes to the outside of the right knee, the right hand comes up, follow it around behind you. Let that hand become grounded on the floor behind you. As close to you is easier for you to lengthen through the spine, because if it's close to you and we're pulling like this, we are basically twisting the spine. If you find twists uncomfortable or you're told not to do any twists, please don't. You can find another way of creating spaces, maybe just stretching a little bit. Breathe. Notice in a twist it's harder to take that full belly breath, but you want to pull in as much clear oxygen as you can. Exhale, your nose starts to go over to the left, your hands come to center. Inhale, exhale to the left, right hand to the outside of the left knee, the left hand comes behind you. Inhale, press into the left hand close to you. Exhale, gently pull with the right hand. Twists are wonderful things to do because it helps squeeze all the used up blood out of your torso, just wringing it out. Inhale, the arm comes up, back to center. Bring your shoulders up by your ears and back and around. Exhale, drop your chin to your chest. Let your hands come in front of you. Let them contact the floor. Now you're going to let your hands, your fingers will either walk away, whatever, but we're moving from the tailbone. The hips are coming forward. The spine is lengthening because we're creating more space. And as we come down, feel that roundedness start from your lower back, through your middle back, through your upper back. And don't worry how far you go on a forward fold, because even if you go into a pose a little bit, you get the full benefit of the pose because your body responds to these natural movements. Feel the back of your rib cage moving as you breathe. Now, on the next exhalation, begin the inhalation with the belly button. You're going to start to ground your sit bones. You're still rounding the top of your body. You're finding your weight on your sit bones. Start thinking about lengthening through from the bottom tailbone to the top of the hip. Feel lengthening through the middle back. As you come up, feel it through the upper back, and bring your ears up, back, and around your shoulders. And a couple nice big shoulder rolls. You can go backwards or forward, whatever feels right. I like to go backward because we spend a lot of times during our day when we're reading and we're cooking or whatever. Whereas if you roll backward, you have to open your complete rib cage. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of lateral movements. Take a breath in, sitting up, grounding, lifting, opening. Take a breath in, exhale, let your right ear go towards your right shoulder. Now be very careful side to side, because if you move where your front of your face is, that alignment, you could give yourself a twinge in the neck. And so all we're doing is letting the right ear go towards the right shoulder. Inhale, lift up, ground yourself, open up from the tailbone to the top back of the neck, and then exhale, let your left ear just go to your left shoulder. Keeping that right shoulder relaxed, maybe feel the weight of that shoulder blade, gently increasing this little bit of a stretch. If it hurts, don't do it. That should be your mantra for all your life, not just your yoga practice. Notice that you can still completely fill your lungs through your belly. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, let your chin just reach down toward your chest. And you can rock a little bit. Be careful, this is a little bit of a twist also. Just let your chin rock from side to side. We're not looking for our ears to go down to our shoulders. We did that part already. We're just releasing some of the tightness on the left side of your neck. and on the right side of you. And come down, shoulders up, back and around. Couple more shoulder rolls. And then inhale, bring your arms up. Turn your palms up. Always feel free to adjust yourself in your seat. If you're not comfortable, you're not doing yoga. Feel that stretch up, lift up with your sternum. Shoulder blades are down. If you can do just spin this in the rib cage, back a little bit, and then start to make big circles on your shoulders. There's no way you can get tight doing this because it feels so good. Your shoulder blades are just floating across the muscles in the back of your rib cage. And find a nice little place to stop and going in the opposite direction. And you come up to center, open, open, open. Exhale, bring your hands down. Push your palms away. We're going to take a breath in. Exhale. The left arm brings the right arm across the body. Gentle pressure with the fingers. Try to drop that right shoulder down. Feel a stretch across the back. Notice I'm letting my torso get involved in this a little bit too. Inhale, center. Exhale, press out the palms. Come up. See how different that right shoulder may feel. Exhale, come back. Turn the knuckles outwards. And gently draw that left arm across your body. Now don't start with your torso yet. You want to feel that stretch deep into that shoulder, the shoulder, and also notice where it feels like on the inside part of your shoulder blade, the part close to your spine. Then you can let your torso turn a little bit. The stretch goes further down the rib cage. And notice one side can feel so totally different than the other side, and that's okay. We all have our bodies. We all have the bodies we've been given. Inhale, come back. Press the palms away, shoulders up, and then just a couple circles in one direction and the other direction. And then release your hands, wiggle your fingers, play bad piano, wiggle your fingers, play bad piano, wiggle your fingers, I play piano this good. All right, so now we're going to palm our eyes, relax our faces. So you take your hands and you press them together and rub them. Look at my shoulders going up on my ears. Let them drop down. And then once you feel the warmth, cup your hands and place them over your eyes. Your thumb is closing out the light coming in from the sides, and the little fingers in the palm is caressing your nose. And it's not shutting it down or anything. And just feel the heat radiating into your eyes. This is called palming the eyes. You can do it up to 3 times a day. Makes a big difference, especially if you get dry eye. And it's a good thing to do in conjunction with everything that you are told to do with that. And then just gently make circular motions, light pressure around your face. Go up and down your nose a little bit. And tomorrow, my Friday class, I'll try to do alternate nostril breathing or another breathing exercise. And you can go down the nostrils and then the fingertips on that little divot thing here and go around under your cheeks and up to the temples. You can do the thumb and forefinger under each side of the chin and gently pull that. Be careful if you have lymph nodes going up, and up the jaw to in front of the ears. And then just pinch your ears, wiggle them, pull them a little bit. And wash your hair. I never care what my hair looked like. It gets brushed once a day, whether it needs it or not. Nowadays it needs it, but it will get cut eventually. Top of your body's okay. Now we're going to work on a little bit of movement with the hips. So you're going to place your hands on your knees. You can come forward just as far as is comfortable. You're going to round just a little bit. And then start to make big circles with your torso. Notice how your weight goes from the front of the sit bones to the right side, the back from the sit bone to the other sit bone, to the left. Oh, I haven't done this in a long time. Notice how your hips are feeling with this. You may want to say, oh, I need to really pay a little bit more attention. This part of the movement is a little tight. Find a natural place to stop, and then going in the opposite direction. Don't let your head flop around. You can keep the neck in the alignment with the rest of the upper back, but never let your head flop. It's not a good thing. And then ground down, inhale. Ground your sit bones. We're going to lengthen up. And maybe if we had measured ourselves, we may be a little bit taller now because we created space in the vertebra. Then we're going to straighten our legs out. Bounce them a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of massage. Loosen up the thighs, the hamstrings. Now this is something I don't remember where I learned how to do it, but it's a wonderful thing because we carry it there. The least fat in the whole body is around the calves. What I learned to do, I'm going to put this foot away. Now you take your foot on the floor. You take your hands are forward like this. You're going to turn your fingers towards the ground, and you're going to put them across on each side of the calf, and so your fingers are going into the middle of the back of the calf, and it's just squeeze and release. And we explore squeeze and releases on Friday's class too. Oh, that feels wonderful. And then we're going to change legs. I'm going to get this leg out of the way. The hands like this. You can get as close or as far as you want, but you want to be able to, that you're not super stretching. So the fingers are top. We bring it towards the floor. We bring the fingertips to the center of the calf, and we're just squeezing and releasing. Now, if you have a little bit of sensitivity in your ankles, you don't have to go all the way down to where there's not a lot of meat. Our calves are meaty, but they're good. Okie dokie. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees into table pose. The knees are directly underneath the hips. You don't want them forward because you're not in alignment with the earth. You want them directly under. They can be slightly wider than your hips, but I'm not comfortable with that. Let's look at that. Okay, so the knees are directly under the hips. You're going to press the crown of the head away from your tailbone. You want your wrists directly underneath your shoulders if it's possible. Open your fingers out and place them down one at a time. If you do have wrist issues, you can make a fist and the first knuckle of the fingers, like a gorilla, you can do that. Now, another thing is you never want to hyperextend. There, now they look under. Huh. It's different looking at yourself doing yoga like this. If you can have the fingers straight, that's fine. Now, it's very important not to lock your elbows or lock your knees. Locking your elbows in table pose, you want the eyes of your elbows facing each other. That's how it is when you stand. So your hands are forward. Now, locking the elbows, notice how the inside of the elbows go through or beyond center of your elbow. And how it looks here is like this. So you can see there's not this beautiful straight line. The energy from the earth is stopping right here because we crunched that bone, or those bones. So let them be towards each other, the middle of your shoulders. Take a breath in, drop the belly, tailbone and head goes up. Exhale, lift through the belly button. Feel the natural curve on the back of the spine. Pull up a little bit through your shoulders. Inhale, the belly goes down. Lift up with the crown of the head. Feel your hips spreading. Exhale. Inhale. Cow pose. Stretch the front of your belly, the front of your body. Exhale. Cat pose. The belly button lifts. The crown of the head is heavy, pulling up through your shoulders. One more. Cow pose. Inhale. Exhale. Cat pose. And if you curl the back of your toes under, we're going to inhale, go through a cow, then straighten the legs. Your weight goes on the balls of your feet. Some people's feet can go on the ground. Now notice if you lifted up the palms of your fingers, press the fingers away. You're placing this part of the palms in the root of the fingers. And then we can walk the dog. We carry a lot of stress in our hamstrings. This is a good thing to do because your body will tell you, this is as far as I can go. You may want it to go that way, but you will feel that it is not feeling as comfortable. Listen to your body. If you learn nothing else from yoga, other than balance, 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 breath, 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 you learn to listen to your body and understand when it's getting a little bit of tightness, you need to adjust. So now I like to look through my hands and jump step, walk into forward fold. Now, excuse me, find your balance between your toes and your heels. Oops. And then relax. So the energy from the earth is coming up through the legs to the sit bones, and then exhale. Relax your torso down. You can clasp your opposite elbows if you want and think about them being heavy. You want the weight equidistant. You don't want it too much on the toes. You don't want it too much on the heels. And the same with side to side. Now, notice that even with my legs pretty straight, there's a slight bend to the knee. I'm going to stand up before I show you what double jointed in the knee is. So you can drop your tailbone, or you can stay in hanging forward fold for a while. And slowly think about spine rolling. But we're lifting our feet off the ground. We're lifting the ankles out of the feet. We're lifting the knees away from the calves, the hips. We're lifting each vertebra as we come up. You get behind your shoulders, bring back and down as you lift the crown of your head. So you're feeling each vertebra open. And do a couple shoulder rolls. Okay, so talking about being double jointed. If you look at my left knee here, if I'm double jointed, it's like that. Now, with the knee hyperextended, it's hard to tell with the shadow. Let me see if this helps. See? Whereas this is natural, this is balanced. My weight is equal on front, back, side to side. If I go like this, see my hip and my butt went out. So I lost that balance of feeling weightless. The base of your skull here is lifting from the base of your sit bones. And a lot of people say they do get taller with yoga, but mostly what that is that they've learned to lift. A lot of people, you can see them, they're plodding through their lives. When you take yoga, you feel that energy center. And you can call it chakras, you can call it whatever, but it's just really cool. So find your Tadasana, and we're going to do the full moon salute. I think it's 18 different poses. We will be holding them for a while. Now I do have a little problem of breathing deeply and speaking while I'm in a pose, so just bear with me. People have been known to say I think you should do what I mean, not what I say. So Tadasana, standing mountain pose. Ground your feet, the soles of your feet, and let everything else lift above it. Your shoulder blades are low on your back. Feel the opening in your sternum. We don't want to be like this. We want to be like this. Okay, so now we'll begin. So we're in Tadasana, grounding our bodies. Bring your hands into Namaste, palms touching, thumbs touching heart center. Let your elbows be heavy. Lengthen through the spine. Let your shoulder blades come down. Full moons are goddess poses. You know, you take what you need, leave the rest. But it's meditative. So you want to really feel as you go into the poses, slowly, with full breath. And this is a wonderful time for an affirmation. You may have one that's near and dear to your heart. You may have one that just bubbles up right now. You may have a wish that you may have for somebody or whatever. And this is the perfect time to connect with that intention. Remember to do the belly breath. So we begin, the hands come out, shoulders are down as we create the full moon with our arms. Shoulder blades down, feel the opening here. Bring your hands together, interlace your fingers, make a steeple with the first finger. Think about dropping your spine. When you drop your shoulders blades back, notice how it doesn't just open up here, you get longer. And feel the energy from the ankle, through the hips, through the shoulders, through the elbows, and up through the palms. Now we're going to go to the right for crescent moon. Everybody's lower back is different. This is the most comfortable pose for me. You can let your weight go a little bit over to the left. There's more weight on the left leg. Or you can let the weight stay in the right leg and feel like you're loosening up the left side of your body. Breathe. And coming up, we're going to exhale into victory squat. Open your legs out. Your toes are going out to the corners. Bend your knees as much as is comfortable. The elbows are going straight out from the shoulders. They're bent. The palms are either facing forward or facing yourself, whichever is the most comfortable. Find your balance. You don't want it too much in the back, and you don't want it too much in the front. You want to be balanced. Your tailbone hopefully is pointing straight down to the earth. We're not arching like this. We're coming down, straight down, not sticking out. Ha-ha. Magic. So find it. Find your balance, shoulders back, feel the opening in the front of your body. We're going to inhale, push the feet out parallel to each other, arms are going straight out in T position, palms down, 5-pointed star. Now notice how much of your weight is on the balls of your foot and how much is on the outside. You want it to be sort of equidistant, but we have to work with the earth and our weight on the earth and the rest of that wonderful stuff. Relax your shoulders. Instead of holding it here, you want to push your fingers away. Think about somebody's holding your palms up. I like cute guys. Okay. Oh, if you have a block, we may need to block the next pose, and try not to fall out of poses. Yoga teachers should never say that because we tend to do it somewhat. Okay, so I'm going to find my balance. You're going to pivot your right foot out 90 degrees. Now press out a little bit with the left leg. So you're opening the energy from the heel all the way up. Arms are out in T position. Exhale. Somebody's pulling your right arm. You're pivoting at the hips. not the torso. Try to keep your torso straight as far as possible. Notice I'm starting to bend this knee because I don't want it to hyperextend. It's just doing it naturally. Bring your arm down to your leg, down to the floor. I don't need to do that. I probably did when I was a baby. So I like to just touch the leg instead of collapsing into it. Everything is moving away from the center. Now this shoulder is fun. You want to try to get your hands straight line from each other. The feet straight line from the hips. Let that left shoulder roll back. Now you can stay here if you want. We're going to do half moon pose. Okay, yeah, I'll be happy to adjust things. So you're going to let your weight go into your right leg. Bring the left leg up. If you can, you move back. So you go back to where you were and then you lift from there. So the right hand goes down, grab the block. Your weight goes into your right leg. Now this is my fun side. So if you notice I'm coming out of it, but now I'm going to lift into it. So I'm going to get my legs straight. The left toes are facing front. And this is fine right here. But if you can, bring the left arm directly over the right arm. And you'll have to find within yourself the balance point for this. See, before my hand was closer to my leg. Now that I created space. Half moon. If you're really good, you can look up at your hand. Yeah, you don't need to. Yeah. And then we're going to bring our torso facing the right. Now this is my fun hip. 6 months from replacement. So we're going to come down to runner stretch. So when we come down, that left heel goes out a little bit more. So the right foot's like that and the left foot's like that instead of like that. You'll figure out because it's the most comfortable. If you can't hold this pose comfortably, notice that nice stretch in the thigh and the hip on the right side and the calf and the heel of the left side. And then we're going to bend the right knee and feel free to adjust your body so you can go into these poses more easily. So you want your right hip over your right knee, or your right knee over your right ankle. The left leg, each side is different, is far back. Try to be a little bit flat or straight through from the shoulder to the hip, to the knee. This was much easier when I was younger. You do not want your right knee to go beyond your right ankle. If it is, just back it off a little bit. We're going to pivot around on the ball of the right foot. Not a lot of space here. Okay, so we're going to do gate pose. So traditionally, the gate would be on the right knee, but since we're moving from one pose to another, you can do it in a squat, or you can even do it sitting down with the right heel close to the center of your pubic area and the left leg out. You can have the foot up or the toes down. The hands are on the floor, or you can balance. This is the gate pose. This is the entryway to the new moon. So take your block, place it on your left side. Now I'm going to move over this way a little bit so I can stay in frame. One of these days I'll figure this whole thing out. And then we'll be back to our new normal. Okay, so we had the right leg straight. We move that. We're going into squat. This is new moon. If you can have your heels on the ground, that's fine. I tend to roll my back more with that. So now I'm doing it on my toes. Your hands are in namaste. As you bring your thumbs close to your chest, your inner or your elbows are pressing those feet apart or those knees apart. So it's up to you with your body whether you can do it with the leg open or closed, or the heels up or down. There we go. Try to find that balance. Try to think about the crown of the head infinitely moving away from the tailbone. Notice how we're pushing them palms back. The breath can be very full. Okay, so your block is on the left side. We're going to do everything we did coming down, lifting into it on the other side. So the full moon salute is where I learned how to lift. Everything is lifting from the earth to the universe, from the growth to the divine. So you can let your weight go onto your right leg. No. Okay, you're going to let your weight go onto your left leg. Put the right leg out. And this may not be very comfortable for you or whatever. And once I get into start that shape, then I start releasing into it. The crown of the head is moving away from the tailbone. My hips were more open. Now, this is facing forward, whereas the other one's facing inward. So I realize I'm hyperextending here. This knee is not having fun today. So I'm coming back. And how far your hips can go makes a big difference. Then we are going to pivot around into low lunge. Remember that. And the one side can be totally different than the other. So I'm bringing my foot forward. The other leg is back. This way my hips are much more open than they were the other way. So my hands are on each side of my foot. If you want to, you can have the foot out to the left and the left hand on the inside. I don't always find that comfortable, but it gives you more space in the left part of your torso. So relax the hips. Press the crown of the head away from the right toes. And breathe as deep as is possible, as deep as is comfortable. So everything we did coming down, we're going to do in reverse coming up. So you're going to curl your right toes down, under, straighten that leg, bring both legs into runner stretch. Think about the tailbone going up to the ceiling, the hands on each side of the leg, or you can have them on the calf or shin or ankle. Beautiful stretch in the meat of your left thigh and in the calf of your right leg. Now this next part, transition, is why I call this full moon magic, because it's magic that you can do it and you have to figure it out for yourself, but it's a wonderful thing to do. We're going to lift into half moon. So let your block be where it is. Find your balance here. You're going to bend your left knee, come forward with your weight, grab that left hand, straighten that left leg, press the right leg straight out from the crown of the head. Your torso and right leg is parallel to the earth. And if you can, lift your right arm up and open your body into it. Move over a little bit. And if you come out, try to go back to the way you went into it before, because then you're starting even more strongly your groundedness to the earth. And some people can look up at the ceiling. I couldn't even do that when I was younger. But I love this pose. And then the right leg grounds from half moon. We're going to pull ourselves up again into triangle. So the left foot goes onto the left toes. The right heel is out just slightly. Heel instep alignment. As you lift up for triangle, I like to do the archer thing. Some people like to swing. I like the archer thing because my shoulders are like this. As I come up, the right shoulder goes over the left shoulder and all the way up. Triangle. And it's almost a natural progression from triangle to half moon, and from half moon into triangle. Both legs are straight. Do not hyperextend the right leg. Very, very bad. My knees will always be fine because I spent 30 years hyperextending. Beautiful triangle. If you're going to look up, look at the corner between the ceiling and the wall. You want to keep your neck in alignment with the rest of the spine. Inhale, your right arm lifts you up. 5-pointed star. Try to relax the shoulders. Come back to your breath. If you're doing it properly, this can be a resting place. I like the idea of people that don't want me to cook or don't want me to drive them somewhere, or a lot of things, that just want to hold my hand and look lovingly at me. Don't have to do the laundry. Now, you're going to pivot your feet out, bend your knees, bend your elbows. Elbow straight out from the thing. Try to tuck your tailbone. We're not letting it stick out behind us. We're keeping this balance. Now when you tuck your tailbone in this, your lower core tightens up. See, having the tailbone like that, if you tighten this, look how this is coming together and lifting. Victory squat. Okay, so now we're going to step together to bring the arms overhead. Make a steeple with the fingers, shoulder blades down, lengthen the back of the neck, and stretch up through the front of your body, trying to get those upper arms straight out from the ears. Take a breath in, exhale, over to the left. Now figure out what's comfortable for you. I have to go with how I can find ease in my body, and that's with my weight being in the left leg instead of the right leg. And the left side feels totally different than the right side, but what you want to do is feel the opening in the right rib cage. You can let that right shoulder, if it's not going, roll back a little bit. Feel that stretch coming more into the front of the rib cage. Inhale, come up with love and respect. Exhale, creating the full moon. Once again, with our arm. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Close your eyes. Notice your heart rate beginning to slow. Notice your body reveling in this newfound balance, right, left, front, back. How different your body feels, and maybe even your mind or your emotions or your feelings. Notice how they're different from when we started tonight. If you had an affirmation, you can revisit it, or you can create another one that's perfect for this moment. May I be the light of God. May I be the embodiment of love. May I be the bringer of peace. Om Shanti. And send these affirmations out to the world around you, to the universe. As you see, your body follows. As you open your heart, you find more balance in your movements through the day, maybe in some of the choices you make. Maybe you find yourself noticing things that may have been overlooked because you were caught in your thoughts, what you had to do. And then release your hands, sort of shake your entire body. Well, I love it. If you're feeling a lot of tightness, just shake the muscle. Because when you shake your muscles, they can't tighten up unless you work really hard at that. And we don't want that. Even the calves. Okay. So, I hope you feel good. Now we're going to come down and we're going to finish out the class with the progressive relaxation and Savasana. But how do we get to Savasana from here? Wonderfully. My new favorite pose is chair pose. I hope you like it. I explored it a lot and then I realized what for me is the best way to do it. So you're going to find your way into Tadasana. Notice where you're feeling. If you need to move and make more space, do so. Your feet are hip width apart or slightly further apart than hip width. I'm more comfortable the closer I am to hip width. You're going to bring your arms out. Your shoulder blades are down. Feel your sternum starting to open. We're going to bring our weight into our heels. We're going to bend our knees and sit back. Now, for years, I tucked my tailbone here, so I'm contracted here. I'm putting a lot of weight, stress on my lower back. So what you do is you press the tailbone down. So then you can go back a little bit more. So from the back of your head to your sacrum, you're flat. If you stick that tailbone out, you're losing all your balance. So that's the important thing. And trust me, I've done this in bathrooms and never left a trace. If you want to, you can pick your toes up, smile with your toes. Try to relax your shoulders. I notice mine were creeping up, so I'm releasing it, opening the front of the body. And we're going to do a little twist with this. I love this. So let me find my way in my chair. It starts at the earth. Bring your hands to Namaste, touching your heart center. Now we're going to bend our knees a little bit more, pivot our torso, left elbow onto the right knee. Think about that right shoulder energetically continuing to move back. Now your weight is more on one leg or the other. Whatever it is natural, but both feet, you need to keep them grounded. Inhale, come back up. Rest in chair pose for a moment. Shoulder blades are down. Tuck the tailbone. Let your weight go into your heels. Then bring the palms of your hands together. Bend your knees a little bit more. Twist your spine. And the right elbow goes onto the left knee. The left shoulder keeps rolling back. Inhale, come up. Exhale. You can get down any way you want to. If you want to, you can roll down and just hang for a little while, creating space in your lower back. Your knees are always softly bent. You do not want to hyperextend. And this is a good way to see that. Notice that movement came from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Hyperextended just like that. I feel like I'm going to fall on my butt. So if you bend it slightly, And just spiral down. Come on to your hands and knees. Bring your buttocks to the floor. Always supporting yourself. And you can use your hands to lie back, or you can try to use your abdominal muscles. And then give yourself a nice stretch. Arms over your head, feet away from your hips. Stretch the right side of the body. Make a little crescent moon. The left side of your body. Back in the center. Now notice how your back is. If it's really lifted in the lower back, bend your knees. Pick up your sacrum. Push your tailbone away. And from the top of your hips, you're going to release down to the bottom of your hips. Now, if your lower back is really bad, sometimes mine is and sometimes mine isn't. If you have to have your knees bent because of your lower back, if you take your toes, this is your toes parallel. If you bring the toes slightly forward or towards each other, ever so slight movement, and you can explore with it. If you do it just a little bit, see how it is. Because if your toes were straight out from the hips and the knees and the ankles, your body wants to open up the legs. What you can do, Baddha Konasana, is a Savasana, a reclined Baddha Konasana. Soles of your feet together, the knees opening out. Just make sure that you do not overstretch. And a little bit of magic I learned with this is my upper arm, my elbows on the ground, and my fingers are just touching, barely touching the outside of those knees. Now, the knees don't know that my hands are holding my legs up, or are not holding my legs up, because the groundedness with the arm and the shoulder, your body still thinks that you're still grounded. And I like reclined Baddha Konasana after I figured that out with my body. So you can be like that, you can have your knees bent, or if your lower back is good, you can relax completely. Arms a comfortable distance away from your body. Your palms are turning up. Your feet are a comfortable distance away from each other. You want to make sure that you don't have a big arch in your lower back. So maybe, once again, you need to do the pelvic tilt. Ground your sacrum. Let your body notice how it feels right now. And then straighten your legs. Whatever works for you. The Savasana at the very end of a class is, I would say, almost more important than everything else you do in the class, is because now all the sensations in your body can come back to normal. And you can start to notice by being aware of your body. You may notice, wait, I have more space here. Wait, this isn't that achy. My chest is fuller. My spine is longer. You can let your head roll from side to side. Make sure your head stays on the ground. In other classes, we'll do a twist and learn to turn our head as opposed to rolling the head from side to side. And when you come back to center, think about the spine being in a single line. Some people's spines are slightly off, so we want to, as much as we can, find balance. And just close your eyes. Notice your breath as it gently moves in and out. Relax your face, your eyes, the crown of your head. Feel the back of your head on the earth. Notice all the space between the vertebra and your neck. Notice your shoulder blades resting on the earth. Maybe you have a little space to walk them down slightly and notice how that changes the length of your spine. And you can have that opening going all the way down to your feet. Your arms are relaxed. Any tightness or tension is just flowing down from the arms and leaping off the tips of the fingers. Almost as if your arms are lengthening away. Your shoulder blades are holding up your heart. The entire front of your body is open. Take a breath from the tailbone to the crown of the head and see if you can create or feel a little bit more space between the vertebrae. Feel your breath, how full it is, even when we're not trying to deepen it. Feel relaxation moving down your legs from your sit bone, the front of your thighs, the back of your knees. Just see how far away you have the feeling that your feet are from your shoulders. Feel your calves pooling on the earth. Feel any remaining tightness just leaving through the soles of your feet, where it can come back changed in a different form, maybe a flower. And begin to relax your mind. Let your thoughts just flow. You don't need to be completely involved in every thought. Some of them aren't even worth paying attention to. That's the nature of the mind. And just take a moment to notice how you feel. Body, mind, spirit. From when we began this practice tonight. And gently begin to deepen your breath. Remember to inhale through the belly button, open the rib cage, expand the chest. Exhale, relax the chest, the rib cage, and pull the belly button muscles into your spine. Deep diaphragmatic breath, beginning with the belly and ending with the belly. When we breathe into here, we're breathing in to the second chakra, which is our seat of creation. And maybe start to move and stretch your body. You can feel free to groan and moan if that's part of it. Then bring your knees into your chest. Let your hands rest on the front of your knees. Your elbows are soft. The magical spider hairs are what's keeping the hands on the knees. And we're not pulling our knees to our chest. We're just letting a gentle weight from the elbows. And as we feel our lower back release, maybe they can come closer to your chest. And then loosen it a little bit. Let them go from side to side. Massaging your sacrum. A lot of people carry a lot of stress in their sacrum, especially women. And when it feels right, you can do lazy 8s. You can do circles. And give yourself a hug. Exhale, head and shoulders round up, stretching your upper back again for the last time. And then exhale, roll onto your side in fetal position. Notice that you may feel taller. I had more space, so I just sort of nestle into it. And then using your hands, lift yourself up into your comfortable cross-legged seated position, however that may look for you right now. And I hope you enjoyed yourself as much as I did with this full moon magic. I didn't write down the date for the next one, but it's basically in 30 days. And I will be doing this every full moon through the rest of the year. And what's more exciting is in October this year, there's a true blue moon, and that's when there's 2 full moons in a month in the last quarter of the year. So October, there's one like the 3rd or 4th, and then the other one's at the end of the month. And I'm very excited because blue moons can be very powerful in manifesting what you want, manifesting what you may find that you need and may not be what you want. So I'm sorry we're going over. Everything we do in Hatha Yoga, which is the yoga of the body, is designed, besides being fun, to allow you to sit in comfort in meditation for longer periods of time without discomfort. And it does work. I thank you much for being here. If you wish to donate, visit paypal.me/donatebliss and just note what class it is or the date of the class or whatever, so the teacher can be compensated appropriately. And thank you so much. I'll see you next month. Tomorrow is De-Stress and Stretch. And then Sunday at 5 o'clock, I do my mantra. It's wonderful. I already figured out this week's. It's a very fun chant. And bring your hands to your heart center. Take a moment to feel your balance from back side to side. Relax your shoulders. Lengthen the crown of the head away from the sit bone. And we'll end our practice tonight with the single sound of Om. If you wish to join, take a breath in. And I bow to the divine I see so clearly within you, even through this machine. Namaste. Thank you. Have a great night.